Carbon fiber looks sweet in the engine bay of Volkswagen 2-liter turbos. It complements all the other mods so well. But you know what's even sweeter? Carbon fiber in a Volkswagen Tiguan engine bay. On today's ECS Tuning Easy DIY, we're adding carbon fiber to a 2-liter turbo Tiguan. Today's DIY is going to be pretty straightforward. We are going to need some Schwaben hose pinching pliers. These are basically vice grips with some articulating jaws so that we can clamp the hose down and keep any of the coolant from draining out. We also have a pick because if your hose has been on there for 50, 60, 100,000 miles, it's going to be a little hard to get off, so we're just going to go in there and massage with the pick. And then some pliers are your choice just to move the hose clamps off. You also see me working with a rag for most of the video, as well as a little bit of cleaner. We are going to spill some coolant, but the coolant that we don't spill, we're going to put into some small, purposely small solo cups to make pouring them back into the reservoir all that much easier. Let's get started. The cool thing about Volkswagen's MQB platform is that a lot of the stuff from the GTI is nearly a direct fit here on the Tiguan. So we're dealing with a 2-liter turbo Tiguan, just like you'd find in a GTI. Install is going to be pretty straightforward. We're going to pinch off the hoses going into the bottle, disconnect the wires, and then this is just going to right on out. All right, so we're pinching off the hose, taking off the hose clamp. Use a hook to just get in here and massage loose the hose. And there we go, easy peasy. We leave the clamp on to keep stuff from draining out. Clip on the side is super easy. That takes that hose off. The coolant level sensor comes right off. And then we're gonna pop the reservoir out and I'll put another set of clamps on the bottom hose. Okay, she feels ready to come off. I'm gonna try and pull it off and plug this hole up here, slip the hose off, and then plug that hole with my thumb so we lose the least amount of coolant. All right, we're able to save most of the coolant in the reservoir, so now I'm just gonna pour some shots for later. I'm joking, don't drink antifreeze. I should have been a bartender, look at that. All right, now our bottle is nice and sticky and goopy, so I'm just gonna get some glass cleaner, a couple paper towels and wipe it down because the carbon fiber bits have a little bit of 3M adhesive tape on it to help them stay in location, and then they're of course gonna 3M to each other as well. Okay, before we pull any of the backing tape off the 3M stuff, I'm just gonna test fit everything together. So there's your bottom. And then the top has this extra little bit for that exit hose, for the vent hose. Okay, that looks pretty good. We're gonna start by pulling the adhesive on the bottom before we go ahead and move on to the top. Be sure all of this is dry, like you may see a couple of dribbles still coming out of your reservoir. If that gets on your tape, gonna have some problems with sticking. I'm gonna pull some of the backing tape off first, so I just have this little bit of tail sitting out of the assembly here. Then I'm gonna put the jug in, and then I'll be able to just pull that tail out like floss. So we pull some up. That's about as far as I want to go. Give it a little crease. And then again, they line up like this. Get everything centered so we have a tab that we can center on. Sitting nice and flush, give it a little bit of push down. And now, just like that little floss, go around. And now I don't have to lift the jug out to get any of this backing tape off, which means it stays exactly located where I had it. All right, now on for the top. So you see we have the same 3M tape here and here. I'm gonna start both of those. And that'll be our lineup like that. And now this is gonna feed over the tape like so. All right, so I've got the tail pulled off on the lids piece of tape, and then we'll pull the tape off here and here. Give it a little fold. One more here. Actually, I'm gonna start over on this side, opposite the other. The ribbons set aside, we now start to marry the two. Here's the overflow line and the sensor. Voila, it's beautiful. Let's put it back in. These two tabs will go up against the strut tower on these two metal tabs. And then this center post goes into the hole here. So I just connected the lower hose that leads back into the motor, and then we'll seat it, and then I'll connect the upper hose that is the overflow off the radiator. Don't forget your level sensor. All right, we're just gonna put the coolant back in that we drained out. And for those of you concerned about how you read the level, there's a window in the bottom portion that we installed that'll tell you your low and high fill line. That's it, pretty straightforward. We'll link to these carbon fiber covers in the product description below. Please consider liking and subscribing for more sweet car content. And let us know in the comments what car you want us to mod next. I was pretty stoked to work on a Tiguan because that's kind of out of left field. So what other left field cars do you want us to do some mods for? Let us know in the comments below.